Welcome back, Obi-Wan Kenobi fans. We are back for another episode of the Obi-Wan Recap and Review, brought to you by SuperClash Video. Always wonderful Geof, and I, Radical Ryan. So Geof, this is the second half. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Probably have a lot going on.
Yes, as I said, to follow up and bridge from our previous episode where we did the first half, so we figured we would do a review here on the first half of those episodes, give you our thoughts, what we're feeling, and then we'll do this again in a few weeks and do a whole wrap-up. So
that's right. Doing
a review off an incomplete portion, but I feel like I wanted to give my final review, my final feelings, judging a full product. Not just the first half, right? So we had some ups, we had some downs. Feeling really, really great. That second half was awesome. Every episode kept getting better. Nothing's perfect, so I'm not going to act like it's the greatest. Nothing's ever the Mandalorian, as we always say. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's great television. Not just Star Wars, but television in general.
We enact the Mandalorian rule. This was a very, very fine Star Wars miniseries, and hoping we get a second series.
By the way, we will be discussing spoilers for the remainder of the series, so be warned, past this point you might hear something that you might not want to hear.
Got Vader's lightsaber scratching my nose there. Well, it was right over my face. That was awesome.
Do you think that, because this did start off as a movie, do you think it would have benefited from being a movie over a series, or are you okay with the 6 episodes that we got?
I like it being episodic. It's definitely better being episodic than a movie. The whole arc of Obi-Wan being this broken down, worthless man to being the man. Episode 6. He definitely flexed, right? I mean, now we're like, this is why nobody F's with Obi-Wan. You and I asked, I mean, that was what we kind of left off with, if I remember correctly, in our first episode, Ryan, about this for the first half. I mean, Obi-Wan's so beat up, like him and Yoda. Why didn't anyone just like hunt down Ben? He's Obi-Wan / Ben. I mean, he's a weak. Now we know why.
Broken man. He was a broken man.
He was a broken man, and now we see why nobody F'd with Obi.
I mean, and I think that we had to end on that kind of note as well. Not only do we have to connect with A New Hope, which is what we were saying in our original video, but you don't want to end and leave this. If this is the end of the Obi-Wan characters, as we alluded to in our last episode, I think we're going to get more of this. It seems like everyone involved wants more. But if this was the end, I think you needed to show what Obi was capable of doing. So I agree. This was definitely what was needed.
Right. So we take a look at how part 3's battle between Obi-Wan and Vader was, we didn't think it was, we thought it was good to see them fight, but it was lacking. We wanted some more.
Yes.
And now I see why, because they wanted that episode 6 battle to be the battle. And that was just great. That's where Obi-Wan finally comes to terms that all of this really kind of isn't his fault. And then Anakin truly is evil. He did this.
What a moment, though.
What a moment.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, that, I think not only did the character need that, but that was a great moment. But it also shows that there is possibly redemption in him, which does happen on later on. Because I think him giving Obi-Wan that nugget of, it wasn't you, really lifted such a burden off him.
Yeah, you saw that he had Vader on his knees. I'm sorry, Anakin. I should say Anakin. He had Anakin on his knees and tears in his eyes, and I'm so sorry. And just wait, there's been
for everything. He said for everything.
Obi-Wan's blamed himself for everything, where everybody should be accountable for their own actions, right? It just in life. And Anakin looking through him too with,
great use. Because I mean, we do get a flashback as well. So I mean, so we do actually get Hayden in the role of Anakin, but we kept saying, well, what's the point of having Hayden in this suit if you're not going to show him? So what a great way of doing it. Probably for him as well. because
Right.
he really seems to enjoy playing this role in interviews that I've seen. So I'm glad he's had this for himself too, for the actor, after the prequel issues and things that he had facing, him.
Yeah,
So
that was for episode 5, right? Where they were
yes,
fighting in the Capitol, and that training montage, not fighting, it was like a training, but you could almost that was, by the way, that might be one of the most well done Star Wars, even Mandalorian wise episode, the way the story was told, how it went between Vader and Obi-Wan, and how what was going on now kept flashing back to what they were both thinking about with that whole training fight, which I thought was great. The way that was, that was so well done. The way, like, whoever conceptualized that, I thought that was great. And that was very, very awesome. And then to go from that to now putting Hayden to put, finally closing the door on that for Obi-Wan, letting him rest, where, he looks, like I said, he was looking at him with his eye and said, yeah, it's not you. I killed Anakin.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
And it does tie up, if you want to talk about writing and connecting and continuity, it goes back to Obi-Wan's like, I really didn't lie to you, Luke, because
that is exactly what I thought, Geof.
Anakin told me himself that Vader killed Anakin. So
I that was one of those moments that I'm like, wow, okay, this added to it. Mm-hmm. Actually, this could have added to A New Hope / Empire, things like that. Now, though, on the flip side, we do have the moments with little Leia, which we both enjoyed this performance of this actress. Really, I think, showed off Leia's strength, but also there's something about this little girl's performance. Great work. Yeah. But what do you feel about now, again, setting up that Ben Kenobi, she's looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Did it change anything for you? Are you still going, okay, this is okay, because he did say you can call on me if you need me, but did you think that there might have been a force wipe? Did you think there might have been something else, a play here that was going to happen?
It's funny you say that, because you and I didn't talk about this earlier.
No.
At the very end, when he walked up to her, I thought he was gonna do like in Superman 2 when he kisses Lois and then she forgets everything.
That's exactly
force wipe. Yeah, I
exactly.
Was waiting, but they didn't go that route. It's a plot hole. That movie was written back in the 70s. We're in 2022 or 2021, whenever this was written. Hey, it was a miss. Oh well, I'm willing to look past it. Whatever. She's a little kid. She had so many things that happened between now and then. Like, I don't know.
So I think it could be explained away, because there's nothing. Yes, it's nothing in there that she kind of like maybe knew him too well, but there's nothing in it that kind of says that I've never met you. So I mean, you could play around with it. Yeah. And he did say pretend we never met. So. Yeah. I guess, wait, that was probably the answer, right? That was the thing.
Yeah, pretend we never met, because you never know who's listening or watching or whatever. So
there you go. Yeah. That's the Rogue One little points in the Death Star explanation that we got for that.
Maybe, and also maybe when she was asking a super Jedi Master for help, it was little, like, remember me? I was little Leia. Now she's like, Obi-Wan, I need your help. And it's, it's Carrie Fisher.
You served my father.
You served my father.
In the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Think of me as a child.
You know what? And I wanted to get your take on this too. Now they're just talking about Leia really quickly. Did you notice with the wardrobe, they were kind of playing with giving you a throwback to Leia? Because there is 3 separate outfits. We get the white, of course, her New Hope, but the green, I was getting Endor, Ewok Village looks, and then she had this burgundy look as well. So I'm like, okay, there's the Cloud City look. It's almost like, to me, what they were doing were like putting colors that we've kind of seen Carrie Fisher playing Leia in, and kind of going, here, look, here's the parallel. This is that character that you know. I don't know. Am I reading too much into the wardrobe, or?
No, that's really funny. Something else we didn't talk about offline. I got that vibe too, and that was definitely done purposely. Especially at the very end with the hair. That was Cloud City hair. That was Bestman hair. So, yeah. I mean, right away I was like, oh, it's like the Bestman hair. I get it. Like, I don't know, it's just little Easter eggs for the older fans, you know, that grew up with the OT, the original, right? Is that what they call it? The
OT
trilogy, the OT.
God, we're the OT crowd. That's true. Should mention the arc about Reva, the third sister. We did bring her up in the first half of the series. Very divisive character, but I will say I do have questions with the execution of her getting from episode 5 to what ends up happening.
That character was poorly written from the first moment we saw her all the way to the end, and it was inconsistent. I mean, Ryan, we had, you know, she was supposed to be written to have. I'm really glad you brought this up. It was supposed to be, she was supposed to have this big redemption angle.
Yes.
Meanwhile, she went and killed all these people, and she was about to torture little Leia. It was like 10, right? We find she's 10. We're supposed to feel bad for her because of the big reveal of how she, you know, basically played possum, played dead to avoid Anakin, you know, massacring all the Jedi children from episode 3, from Revenge of the Sith. And we're supposed to feel bad for her now. And then she's supposed to be our hero. And then she tries really stupidly to kill Vader. I mean, it's Darth Vader, man. She knows Vader. Why would you? I mean, she, you know.
And third sister, he knows you as well.
Yeah. I mean, then all of a sudden, okay, so then we're set up that, okay, maybe she's supposed to be use a wrestling term, a face.
Yeah,
right?
she turned face. Exactly.
Yeah, she turned face.
Exactly.
Then the next episode, she's going to try to cut off Luke Skywalker's head. And I'm like, what are you guys, what is this character? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Ryan,
I mean, you summed up exactly my feelings, but then it also went with, how did she get from that message from Bail Organa? So Bail Organa's message, now, was it that just because she used the Force that she interpreted that? How did she know that that was Vader's child? And that it was with Owen? And I guess you could say that she had a feeling when she met him in episodes earlier, but that's a lot of what ifs, and then just the whole switch after this whole ordeal is just insanity. I get it, what they're trying to do, but if it was written better, I think it would have played a little better.
I want to say that I just believe this arc with her was just poorly written. She sniffed out Owen in the first episode, I believe, right? But he didn't do anything wrong. I felt like it was just there just to create controversy. Like, Owen Liz, like, I hate the Jedi. Like, like basically F the Jedi. But no, like, she was always on to him for something, but he didn't do anything. And they only met that one time. Once again, I don't know why she went back to kill Luke. I mean, she had her face turned. That should have been it.
That's the thing. Are you going back to heel then? Because it didn't work out well for you?
I mean, something else, dude. Like, I mean, Luke Skywalker is arguably the first or second strongest Jedi ever after Vader or Anakin, like, you know, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And he got his hand cut off. And you remember in Empire, like Rocky after fighting Drago, right? I mean, he was like a mess. This one takes an entire thing through her, and the next day she's like, well, I'm going to go to Tatooine.
Twice.
Twice. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Tatooine and kill Luke. Like,
they served us like really great Jedi, maybe a Sith, Darth Maul vibes with her in the cloak, in the sand. But no, you're right. How?
Yeah, I did like the fact that they brought back the Grand Inquisitor, because I think
makes sense. Yes,
most Star Wars fans like him. I do like the actor. Rupert Friend. If you do, I mean, he's like, I would not recommend it. I mean, so he talks all weird and stuff, but if you ever go watch Homeland or Hitman or anything, and you see how he really talks and really looks, it's actually really funny that he's
complete
doing
opposite.
That voice. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty good. That he did that. So, he makes a good baddie. So, but I'm just saying, I just feel that whole arc was just, I don't know, poorly written. I felt like it was kind of forced into here when this is the Obi-Wan and Anakin / Vader story. That's what we want to see.
It
That's my
almost makes you seem like they needed filler to fill out the episodes because, again, I think this was in a script that was adapted from a movie form. I think even Ewan said, again, this was a movie originally. Yep. And then with the whole Disney Plus and then The Mandalorian, it switched over. But that's one of those things that it's like, in theory, great, but then it's another launch pad because we heard there's a Reva show now coming out. So, again, they announced, first off, they announced shows before the things are even done. They should wait, test the waters first, and then it spoiled the character's thing too, because you kind of figured, well, what else are they going to do with this character unless it's a prequel?
She went from, I'm going to say like, back in the day, Happy Days was a very popular show, a very iconic show, right? I mean, to this day. And all of a sudden they threw in, I guess they besides the jump the shark moment,
yep.
They had Robin Williams in there as Mork. That was an alien from another planet. And he was only really in there for a spinoff, even though he had nothing to do with Happy Days. I believe it
wasn't a Laverne and Shirley or a Joni Loves Chachi kind of.
Like,
organic kind of,
And again, that's the word. Thank you, Ryan. It wasn't organic. It was just this thing that was thrown in there that made no sense. I mean, mind you, Robin Williams is awesome, and Mork and Mindy, I think that's, at least the first couple seasons are really funny.
Yeah.
But this was just kind of like, man, you obviously wrote this after the fact and tried to squeeze it in there. And I am just grateful that, and I really thought she was going to get into that fight at the end between those two. And
I did too, actually. I thought that was going to happen as well.
Thank goodness, Ryan, that it didn't, and that Obi-Wan and Anakin got to, get that fight we all wanted to see. That's what the fans want.
And I think they were smart. I mean, it's, again, like you said earlier, you have to see a complete show, I think, before we, because the Inquisitor we thought was dead. And a lot of Star Wars fans thought so too, which, based on the extended universe, the new canon, he should have been alive anyway. So a lot of fans were like, well, you killed him and, you're breaking canon. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that things like that were brought back into the show to keep it with that. I will say, I think they missed a point when they could have, if for anything for her character, for this hatred of Obi-Wan, it could have been, and I thought this is what we were going to get, Geof. It was going to be a flashback to Order 66, and her seeing maybe Obi-Wan doing that message of, don't come back here, don't try to, don't come back to this temple. The Jedi, it's done, and her maybe seeing him like this message on a screen and then thinking, oh, well, I was left for dead then. No one's coming to save me.
I've recalibrated the code, warning all surviving Jedi to stay away.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. I'm thinking that it looked like almost like in this last one that Anakin was looking at her like as she was stabbed, like, oh, maybe there's something about you I like. So
I did enjoy this series, Ryan.
Yes,
I will
me
say
too.
But I'm sorry, this character the whole thing was just poorly written. And it was just very inconsistent. And if you're going to introduce a new character into a spinoff, man, do the character justice. Do the actress justice that's playing the character. Do everything justice so that I don't even know, she still felt to me like a bad guy. Even when like Obi-Wan was, oh, they're at peace now and all that. And I'm like, yeah, but watch this one because, we thought she was okay yesterday. And then
she
thought she Vader, now she wants to kill Luke. Like
a few hours ago, she was remembering those younglings. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, she really, I mean, for somebody seeing children die, she really wanted to kill the kids. Like she was all...
Right, couldn't they have done it that she was trying to get the jump to maybe protect him? Then you could have said, oh, wow, she really had a redemption arc.
Yes.
She died trying to save Luke, although even that would have been just like, shoehorn in,
Like no one should have known where Luke is at.
No.
He was so well hidden for the longest time. Even us OT fans, when episode 4 and 6 came out without the prequels, we would have never known that Leia was Luke's sister.
No.
Even though he had a sister. So
especially after Empire.
That was interesting. Oh, speaking of, one thing I thought was really cool, Ryan, was I read I read online that somebody had a nice, cool little fan theory that every episode of Obi-Wan, all 6 episodes, resembled each of their
Yes.
respective episodes 1 through 6. And I was like, oh man.
Is it true? Because I read someone talking similar. Like, I don't know if it was you that brought this up. Somebody said this recently.
You and I only saw this like this morning. So after I watched it. So
because there was someone, I saw something that someone said, episode 1, this happens with like, oh, you know what it was? It was that Naboo underwater scene when Obi-Wan puts the mask on and he's flying, he's swimming through the ocean. It kind of looks like episode 1 when him and Qui-Gon and Jar Jar swimming under the water with that Jedi mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. There's like things like that are callbacks. Yeah, so I would love to see what they are for each episode. Wow.
Yeah, great. I'm trying to think. Episode 3 would be much like Revenge of the Sith with them fighting with fire and fire.
Yeah.
And the burning, but Obi-Wan was getting burned and not Anakin this time. He was torturing.
And the back to then we got the more back to tank flashbacks a la Boba Fett.
Yep, Boba Fett. Episode 5, I would probably say that one was, instead of infiltrating the Hoth base, it was like Vader and them infiltrated that little base that they had them cornered.
Yes. And it's almost also it could have been like a callback to maybe not one of my favorites, but The Last Jedi, when they're also in that, and where Luke, does that hologram to that little area.
Yeah. So it's yeah. Go ahead.
You wanted to bring up this moment, right? When Vader actually gets in there and there is the transports. I know that this was a moment that you really enjoyed.
Yeah, this was a part I thought it made me kind of think, and it was one of those things where you have to let it go, like the Leia thing. So I think it was an awesome moment. Episode 5, Prime Vader looking like a freaking linebacker. Like, he just looks huge in this. And he goes, they're escaping Obi-Wan, Leia, and the rest of the, I guess, soon to be Rebel Alliance, right? They're about to take off in this shuttle. Vader comes in there and grabs it. And it reminds me of Star Tours when Vader grabs the ship and stops you.
I want that spy.
Pulls the ship down. Takes him a few times, but he pulls it down, and then he just starts going like this, and he's ripping into the. And once again, it's this new horrifying Vader that's kind of started since Rogue One.
Yes.
This guy's freaking me out. He's like Jason Voorhees, right? He's just ripping into the shuttle. And our friends kind of figured that was going to happen. That was like a decoy ship, and the real one takes off.
Great thinking. Great thinking.
Great thinking. But I would have to say that my mind did go back to episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, when they infiltrate the Hoth base and Vader walks in and the Millennium Falcon is flying away. And I'm like, why didn't Vader grab it? But I justified it in my mind.
Feeling a little older. It's 10 years later.
He's a little older. It's the fastest ship in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon.
You're right. You're right.
And I mean, did you ever notice Vader was in that app? He was always like, I want that ship. Like, he just wanted that ship. Like, so he probably even knew, like, I ain't got a chance to grab that mother.
Yeah, right. Like, they're going to Cloud City. I'm going to get there before.
That damn hyperdrive on that thing. I can never catch that.
It's going to fail. Yeah, that hyperdrive's going to fail eventually. And let me beat them.
Might have been a little mental thing on him, but I know there were some people online that were like freaking out about, and I'm like, all right, relax. Like, if that's going to really kill your
that one moment.
Show, yeah. I mean, come on. Did you not just embrace the fact that he pulled the ship down and started tearing it apart like that? I was like, oh man.
You know what it also reminded me of was Rey in the last Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she pulls that, what we think is Chewie on that transport and the new water thing, and then she's like pulling it back and forth with Kylo Ren, and then it explodes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's cool that Vader is actually doing this, so it just shows you how strong he is. I think this was great. Although, besides the fact of original trilogy.
Yeah, and it's also there's a level in. Did you ever play the Star Wars game on PlayStation? The Force, is it the Force Within? With
Oh yeah, this is Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Yeah, and they made
Star Killer.
Dude, those games I thought were very cool. But there's a level where he pulls the Star Destroyer from the space.
One of my favorite, because you feel it too, like the hand controller.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things you're like,
yeah. So a
I
little
have
bit of
the
throwback to
Force.
that too. But we'll have to say, much like the person that was kind of complaining online, I did think of the Millennium Falcon right after that scene. I'm like, why didn't he grab the Falcon? But I was like, whatever. I moved on with my life, Ryan. There's no sense. Like, why have a good meal and then be like, well, I wish I would have put maybe just a little bit more salt on it. Like,
exactly, because
yeah.
I think really in hindsight, seeing these again, possibly in order, maybe all at once, really might benefit as a viewer. So that's something that I would love to do in the future if I have time, because I definitely want to see this series as a whole again.
Yes. I think it was overall it was really good. It was good to have Ewan McGregor back. It's good getting guys like Joel Edgerton back. How about our final cameo, Ryan?
Oh, well, two,
yes.
Geof,
Well,
would you like to reveal yourselves to the Jedi?
I will probably say that I did get very excited because it was teased. It was teased in the first half.
Yes.
That
Master.
that Liam Neeson might be showing up at some point, but I gave up hope. And
yes.
Finally, he shows up at the end. Although he's a little miniature ghost versus, when Obi-Wan was a ghost, he was big and took up the sky sometimes and was at least human size. But yeah, we get a little Liam Neeson turns around and
I have a particular set
up.
of skills. It's being little.
Yes, I could make myself any size. That was kind of dirty.
I did give he's force pushing some other way. So, well, yes, that was amazing, because I did lose hope as well.
Oh man. Yeah. So it was really good. It was really good to see Liam Neeson. That was awesome. And it looks like if they do something in the future that
this started, yes,
star role, like a little, that's his Obi-Wan.
Would that not be amazing?
Yeah,
because people love that character. I know I do too, and I did want to see more.
Yes.
And then of course, good old Palpatine, who man, Ian McDermott, that man gets himself into everything. Good for him.
Good for him. Hey, give it to him.
Looking young too. Didn't he look like young and dapper?
Yeah. I mean, I
freshly scarred from Mace Windu.
He's one of those dudes that was just old, and he just always looked old, like Arn Anderson. That's another wrestling reference, but I hope
you're
right,
though. You're right.
It's Arn Anderson. He just,
Ric Flair always looked old too, I thought.
Yeah, I always thought Ric Flair was an old dude. Crazy. But yeah, those cameos were great. I did enjoy. I did enjoy revisiting Obi-Wan.
Yes. Ewan's performance really brings something to that role. I think if it was just any old person playing Obi-Wan, it wouldn't be the same.
Yes, thank you, Ewan McGregor, for not letting them recast that and to do it, because you did it justice. He made the series. It was awesome. And just his whole character change. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor, and that's when you're a phenomenal actor, you can do stuff like that. And then
he is. We
got a lot of Vader. I was worried we weren't going to get enough Vader.
Yes.
Jesus, we got a freaking Anakin flashback where there's a whole episode about it. So
God.
And it wasn't too much. It wasn't played too heavily.
No, I think this is the start of other things for them too in the future, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say also, I love the fact of I guess this is in a sense a little cameo. When Vader was getting his ass handed to him by Ben Kenobi, it even did the broken snorkel noise from Return, like that. Made me think of Return of the Jedi for Episode 6. So when that guy said that, it opened my mind to all these things. That
it was that damage. Yeah, it's kind of like
a snorkel.
like a old harmonica that doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, right. And as far as you brought up the future episodes, Disney. Hopefully you're watching this, Disney. Listen to me, Disney. Listen. Forget everything, Disney. The next show. Please look at me, Disney. I'm looking at the camera. We need a day in the life of Darth Vader on Mustafar. We need it. Right? This place. I mean, Vader lives in a castle, a Dracula castle on a planet of lava. I just want to know how he spends his time. Like,
yeah,
I want to see him wake up in the morning, the alarm clock goes off. Like, you know, he's probably all bald and like Freddy Krueger-esque looking. And I just want to see him make coffee, maybe have some eggs, you know, read the newspaper, check out the classifieds, you know, see what's going on in the universe.
What's going on. Yeah, with the Ewoks, possibly.
Yeah, he's betting on the pod races because he was into pod racing, so he bets on that. He's got a little bit of a problem we don't know about. You know, he sits there, he talks down the Emperor a little bit, and like shoots the shit with some of the generals. Yeah, some of the generals come by, play golf. I mean, we need a day in the life. I want to know what he does on this planet, or does he just sit in that room on that throne and just scream about Obi-Wan all day like a man?
I think they're alluding to that he's just really like he's always meditating. I hope not, but I think that's what it is. I think he's meditating all the time. It's better than what we saw though in Empire when he was in his little meditation pod thing. Like he's got this castle, so they should use it. They should use this.
Disney missing out on a gold mine.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure somewhere along the line this is going to be milked for all it's got.
I
castle.
want Vader, a day in the life of Vader, and 6 episodes of what he does for like an entire week on that planet.
You're listening to this, Disney.
Please.
Make it happen, please.
Yes.
We'll cover it. We'll cover it on SuperClash video.
Yes. Yes, we will. Here on SuperClash video. If you give me a little thing, that would be nice. But just make the episode. That's all at least one episode. How about one episode? Disney? You can do that. One episode. I bet you James Earl Jones and Hayden Christensen would be on board. That's just me. So
stay tuned for more content from SuperClash video. Geof, David, and myself will be back right around the corner with another episode. Always up to something over here on SuperClash.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. May the force be with you.
And also with you.
Well, thank you. And you too, bud.
And you. And you and you. And especially you.